All right. Welcome to Tank and Testimony Tuesday. It is a new series here on Shellshocked Shorts. It's essentially me telling my story over tank play. Because what's more fun than listening to a guy talk about his past while watching tanks blow each other up, right? I call this Chapter 1 No Silver Spoons. My very first memory is of a beer bottle. I was just a baby, but I remember it, this giant life-size bottle being handed to me. I remember searching for years for this giant beer bottle, and finally I realized that it wasn't a huge beer bottle. I was just that tiny. It belonged to my mom's boyfriend at the time, Scott. I know he was abusive. I don't remember much about him beyond that moment, but that stuck. Definitely is my first, memory. The image of a toddler holding a beer bottle. Even then, something probably knew that, that wasn't right. Next, I remember living on the east side of Milwaukee at Pulaski Street. I remember weird little things like watching the Smurfs, the Jetsons, and the Flintstones in that house, playing Simon, the old red, yellow, green, blue light-up game. Next door to us, there was a neighbor that had three beautiful, German Shepherd, Malamute type dogs. I was too young to know anything about real danger, but somehow those dogs felt like something good, gentle, strong. The owner was awesome. I remember loving him. I can't think of his name. After that, we moved to Arlington Place. That's where my mom met Darren, and they have my half-sister Anna. Though I've never called her half a day in my life. We've always just been brother and sister. The truth is, we've been through so much together. I always call her my war buddy, honestly. I made friends. I remember Jackie, Jeremy, and Julianne. We were in a complex with some close neighbors. Darlene was in the actual complex with us. I just remember she had dark hair, glasses, and one shoe that was taller than the other. Funny what details stick, Across the way lived Mark and his brother Jeff. That's when Mark first entered my story, just a shadow at the time. Eventually my mom and Darren broke up and Mark became more than just a neighbor. We got evicted around then. I was 8 years old. We ended up staying at my grandparents' house from October to December of 1990. I remember these dates because it brought up over and over throughout my childhood. Somewhere a little before that, we got into some trouble. Jackie, who was younger than me, got her hands on a can of spray paint and scrawled ASSH across the side of Mark's garage. She claimed it stood for Ash, but the adults always thought it meant a-hole. I don't even remember who got blamed. Maybe I confessed, maybe I passed the buck. Didn't matter. Adults believe what they wanted anyway. While we were living at my grandparents' place, right after that, we would go away sometimes to Mark's mom or stepmom's house. He always called her Joanne, which I thought that was weird. I couldn't imagine calling my own mom by her first name, but whatever. I'd end up staying up late on the couch watching horror movies. I was way too young for Hellraiser and stuff like that. That was my normal 8 years old HBO and horror. And then we moved again into the Thurston house. And that's when everything started to change. Mark had moved from shadow to center stage. The tone in the home shifted, quieter sometimes, but heavier. And that's when Rumpelman started to show up. At one point, I started calling Mark Dad. I was just desperate for someone to choose me. I didn't understand what I was doing. I just needed to feel wanted. And then one day, my mom pulled me aside. Mark isn't comfortable with you calling him Dad. Please don't do it anymore. I didn't know the words for it at the time, but that was the first time I truly felt rejected. He hated kids, told me straight up, told my mom straight up, but yet here he was, dating a woman with two of them. I didn't know it yet, but that sting, that ache in my chest, behind my ribs, that was going to shape more of me than I could have ever imagined.